Hola, welcome to SpanishUp. We are going to discuss three things today. First of all, we are going to discuss the Spanish past tense. Then we are going to see the intricacies of some difficult structure in Spanish grammar. And then we are going to discuss some of the important words of this little paragraph. Okay, let's begin with the first thing first, the Spanish tense. As you read, we are going to discover. Let's read. Albert Einstein, su hijo que tuvo un problema. Albert Einstein, su hijo que tuvo un problema. Albert Einstein, his son who had one problem. Albert Einstein, his son who had one problem. Now, if you carefully look at this sentence, you will see the verb in the sentence is in the past tense, tuvo. Tuvo un problema. Tuvo means had. Tuvo means had. He had a problem. Tuvo means had. He had a problem. Einstein, his son, who had a problem. Einstein has a son who had a problem. Now, you see tuvo is in the past tense. In the past tense, its infinitive form is tener. Is tener. What does tener mean? Tener means to have. So if we search this word in the word reference, search the word in the word reference, let's say for example, and then go to the Google word reference, and we'll see the present form. Perhaps since you are already in an advanced stage, you are probably already familiar with the present form indicativo of tener. For example, tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tenéis, tienen. Now, in this class, we are going to basically focus on pretérito. Pretérito is the past tense. Tuve, tuviste, tuvo, tuvimos, tuvisteis, tuvieron, tuviste. Right. So, tuvo is in the third person, singular number. So, if we replace it here, Einstein, su hijo, que tuvo uno problema, que tuvo uno problema. Einstein, his son, who had a problem. Who had a problem. Okay, so what is the problem? Let's go on and read. Einstein, to Einstein, le fouille difficile to Einstein. What was most difficult, fouille, most difficult, fouille difícil, sobrellevar el trastorno mental de su hijo. To Einstein, what was most difficult was to sobrellevar. So what is this sobrellevar? If we once again search this word, sobrellevar, we will get the meaning. Sobrellevar is to endure, soportar algo, bear, to endure the problem, to bear the problem, to endure the problem. Okay, so what was difficult for Albert Einstein was to endure the mental problem de su hijo. What type of mental problem? El trastorno mental. Trastorno is not only a mental problem. Let's begin with the word sobrellevar first. Sobrellevar is to endure. To endure a problem. A trastorno is a mental disorder. Is a trastorno mental is a mental disorder. It's a mental, it means mental disorder. So what to Albert Einstein? Le fouille difficile, what was difficult, what was most difficult was to endure the mental disorder of his hijo, of his son. Okay, el trastorno mental. His trastorno mental is the mental disorder. Is the mental disorder. See, here are two interesting words. Here are two interesting words. Sobrellevar, to endure, el trastorno, and el trastorno mental, mental disorder. Now, there was another word that we couldn't focus on. I think we need to go back and discuss it. Fue. Fue is also another past, pretérito in Spanish tense. Fue. So if we look it up, fue, we will see fue is actually, if we look it up in the conjugation, we will see, uh, fue. You can get fue here. Fue is ir. Fue also means fuiste. Fue also means so let's go back to the word ser. You see, ser. Ser is the infinitive form of to be verb. Okay, so probably since you are in an advanced intermediate class, you're already familiar with the conjugation of the present tense in Spanish. For example, soy, eres, es, somos, sois, son, sos. Now, we are going to see the pretérito form of ser. Fui, fuiste, fuie, fuimos, fuistais, fueron, fuiste. So these are the pretérito form of indicativo. Pretérito form of indicativo. Now there is something very interesting about this verb, because if you look it up, you will see ir, which means go, and ser means to. These two verbs have the same conjugation in the past tense. For example, ir, I looked it up as ir in the dictionary, and let's see, although the present forms are different, the pretérito are the same. For example, fui, fuiste, fuie, fuimos, fuistais, fueron, fuiste. Okay, so it can either mean he went, they went, I went, we went, you went. It can also mean um, I was, you were, they were, we were, he, she, and anybody was. Okay, so this is also possible. Now, what is interesting about the sentence, that it is used in the sense of the to be verb. Albert Einstein, Einstein, le fue difícil. What was difficult? Sobrellevar was to endure el trastorno mental, the mental disorder de su hijo. De su hijo. In other words, for Albert Einstein, it was difficult to endure the mental disorder of his son. Einstein lo fue difícil sobrellevar el trastorno mental de su hijo. Now, this is a statement. This is a statement. Imagine this is a statement. Lo dice el editor, and it has been said. This statement is said by el editor, el subdirector de una organización. It is said by and the editor and subdirector of an organization que trabaja en el proyecto, that works on the project de Einstein, Albert Einstein, which works on the project of Albert Einstein, right? So this statement is actually made by the editor and subdirector of an organization that works on the project of Albert Einstein. Okay, Then, what was the problem? Let's try to know about it. Utete, Eduardo Ortete, como le decían cariñosamente, cariñosamente, cariñosamente. This is an interesting word. Cariñosamente, cariñosamente means affectionately. Cariñosamente, cariñosamente, you can see it here. Cariñosamente means affectionately, lovingly, fondly. Who is affectionately called Eduardo Utete, como le decían cariñosamente, who is affectionately called, this name, who is affectionately called this way, affectionately, called fue. Once again, you see the irregular verb of ser has come back here. Fue means was. Eduardo Utete was el hijo menor del científico. Which científico? Which scientist? Albert Einstein. Right. So it was the name of the of the minor son of Albert Einstein. Okay, so you see there are many instances of irregular Spanish irregular verbs. First of all, you have got it in the title of the text, tuvo, and then fue, and then once again fue. You have it. Okay. Um, at the same time, we have already finished discussing some of the words that we wanted to discuss. Some of the interesting words, for example, sobrellevar el trastorno mental. Sobrellevar el trastorno mental. We have also come across a few minutes back, cariñosamente, affectionately called. Okay, let's go to the next line. Tuvo problemas de salud. He had problems of health problem. He had health issues, as we say. Tuvo, once again, tener. Tuvo is the preterito form. That means the past indefinite form of Spanish. Okay, tuvo, he had problemas de salud, problems of health, in part, relacionados con los pulmones. Con los pulmones, somebody lungs. He had some health problems, in part related to his lungs, pulmonos. Perhaps you are already familiar with the word pulmon, and this is the plural form of pulmon. Pulmon means lung, pulmonary, lungs. Okay, lungs. He has some problems, health issues related to lungs. El trastorno mental, once again. Now, I think you can tell me the meaning of this expression, el trastorno mental, that means the mental disorder, se manifestaría en su adultez. Se manifestaría. This is a very complicated form, not so complicated as it might appear. We are going to discuss the conjugation of the word se manifestaría in another session. But for the time being, let me just tell you the meaning of the word. This is going to resurface el trastorno mental que se manifestaría, the mental disorder that would appear en su adultez. Adultez, since you already know the meaning of the word adult, perhaps you can also remember the meaning of the word adultez. Adultez of the adult life. Adultez means the adultez. Adultez is adult life. Adultez is maturity, adulthood. Okay, so adulthood. In the adulthood, he had this problem resurfaces. Okay, so how many words do you have now? You have many words now. Sobrellevar el trastorno mental, cariñosamente, pulmones e adultes. D'accord. adulthood. Okay. Once again come across the same irregular form of tener, because you see tuvo problemas de salud, and then once again you have this word tuvo una vida muy trágica. Tuvo he had una vida muy trágica. He had a life very tragic. He had a very tragic life. Él le indica el experto al periódico, right? This 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 editor and subdirector, this expert, has made this comment to this journal. Okay, so this is it. Now we have discussed a number of words. Now let's summarize the words that we have so far discussed. Okay, one more thing, one more line is there. Junto a su primera esposa. Junto. This is a nice word. This is a very interesting word in the Spanish language. This is a very interesting word is in Spanish. The reason I say it's a very interesting word is when you say together, when you say junto a, you mean together with. But if you say simply junto, it means joined, right? It means something that has been attached to something else. Okay, junto, right? So junto a su primera esposa, together with his first esposa, wife, together with his first wife, whose name is Mileva Marik, who is called Mileva Marik. El físico, the scientist who works in the field of physics, tuvo, who had dos hijos más. He had two more children. So you see, in this text we have a number of irregular Spanish past tense. First of all, we have tuvo, which comes from the word tener, which means to have. For example, somebody can say tuvo, tuvo, tuvo dos, tuvo 30 años. Tuvo 30 años. I have 30 years. I am 30 years old. Okay. So tuvo is interesting. And then you have fuye. Fuye means was. For example, you could say el. You can say el fuye. Fuye. Fuye en un experto. Fui el experto del periódico, periódico. And you can also say there are a number of other words, for example, junto. For example, you can say junto a mi amigo, él tuvo dos libros. Okay, and then you have also learned some of the interesting words. For example, you have learned sobre llevar. You have learned sobre llevar, endure, and then el trastorno, and then cariñosamente, then pulmón, and then adultez. Okay, so these are some of the words that we have learned here. So we have basically learned three things. First of all, we have learned the Spanish past tense, irregular past tense, of tener, ser, etc. And then we have also looked at the structure peculiar to the use of the word junto and junto a. And then we discuss some of the interesting words. For example, sobre llevar, el trastorno mental, cariñosamente, pulmón, and adultez. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the video.